Don't believe me? Why don't I show you in Keith Kellogg's own words, him saying, I actually need maybe 100 days and we can create a framework. You had 76% of Americans approved of the Obama transition. You had 68% approval of Biden.
In the near term. And when I say by the near term, I would like to set a goal on a personal level and professional level. I would say let's set it at 100 days and move our way back.
Breaking news. Trump's approval rating just plummeted harder than his toupee in a hurricane. At 41% favorable, he's officially less popular than getting a root canal while listening to Nickelback. But wait, there's more. This makes Trump the least liked president-elect in modern history. Even George W. Bush, the guy who couldn't pronounce nuclear, had better numbers. Stick around as we dive into this dumpster fire of public opinion. Remember when our favorite orange-tinted reality TV star thought he was hotter than a fresh batch of McDonald's fries? Well, folks, it looks like those days are long gone. Trump's been strutting around like a peacock with a bad spray tan, thinking he's America's golden boy. But hold on to your MAGA hats because the numbers are in, and they're uglier than Trump's attempt at dancing at one of his rallies. Let's break it down, shall we? A whopping 55% of Americans think Trump's about as appealing as a week-old fish sandwich left out in the sun. That's right, more than half the country is giving him a big ol' thumbs down.
Trump has a 55% unfavorable rating and a 41% favorable rating. You had 76% of Americans approved of the Obama transition. You had 68% approval of Biden. Keith Kellogg, Donald Trump's special envoy to Ukraine, says that ain't happening.
Meanwhile, only 41% think he's doing an okay job. That's like getting a D on your report card and calling it a win. Sorry, Donnie Diapers, but that's not how math works. But here's where it gets juicier than one of Trump's well-done steaks with ketchup. Our soon-to-be commander-in-chief's approval rating is so low, it makes limbo champions look like giants. In fact, Grumpy Trumpy has managed to snag the title of least liked president-elect in modern history. Ouch, that's gotta hurt more than his toupee in a windstorm. Now, you might be wondering, how did this happen? Didn't he promise to make America great again? Well, turns out that promising the moon and delivering a moldy cheese wheel doesn't exactly win you fans. Trump's transition period has been about as smooth as a porcupine in a balloon factory. He's been picking fights on Twitter faster than he can say fake news, and his cabinet picks have been raising more eyebrows than a surprise Botox party. And let's not forget about his oh-so-presidential press conferences. They've been about as informative as a fortune cookie written by a drunk chicken. He's dodged more questions than Neo in The Matrix, leaving reporters and citizens alike scratching their heads and wondering if we've all been punked. But wait, there's more. Our orange-tinted friend has been busy playing golf and tweeting instead of, actually preparing to run the country. It's like he thinks being president is just a really long episode of The Apprentice. Newsflash, Donnie. You can't just fire the American people when they don't like you.
Think about how underwater that favorability is. I can compare it to other recent president-elects before inauguration. Even before day one, this has been the worst transition in presidential history, period, full stop. Broken promise after broken promise. Donald Trump promised. Don't believe me? Why don't I show you in Keith Kellogg's own words, him saying, I actually need maybe 100 days and we can create a framework.
And figure a way we can do this in the near term to make sure that this solution is solid, it's sustainable, and that this war ends to...
Well, folks, it looks like our favorite orange-tinted reality TV star is at it again, making promises faster than he can tweet Kovfev. Remember when Trump said he'd fix Ukraine quicker than you can say fake news? Well, buckle up, Buttercup, because his own guy just spilled the beans, and it ain't pretty. Keith Kellogg, Trump's special envoy to Ukraine, and no, he doesn't come with a free box of cornflakes, dropped a truth bomb that's got everyone's MAGA hats in a twist. Turns out achieving peace isn't as easy as Trump's hair routine. Kellogg actually said, I actually need maybe 100 days, and we can create a framework. 100 days? That's like forever in Trump time. I guess peace in 24 hours was just another alternative fact. But wait, there's more. While Donnie's busy playing peacemaker, he's also cozying up to billionaires faster than you can say tax cuts for the rich. Elon Musk, the guy who wants to colonize Mars, probably to escape Trump's tweets, is apparently renting a place at Mar-a-Lago. What's next? A Tesla charging station in the Lincoln bedroom. And speaking of rich buddies, Trump's doing more flip-flops than a fish out of water. Remember when he was all America first and against those pesky H-1B visas? Well, now he's singing a different tune, and it sounds suspiciously like billionaires first. I guess when your new BFF is a tech mogul, you gotta keep him happy, right? But here's where it gets really juicy. Scott Bessent, Trump's pick for Treasury Secretary, because who better to handle the country's money than a Wall Street guy, dropped a bombshell.
About 72% of Americans approved of the George W. Bush transition before the 2001 inauguration. With Donald Trump, you have a 41% approval rating, and it's pretty clear why. That there would be peace in Ukraine within 24 hours after the election. Assume he meant after the inauguration, which he didn't say, but let me give him the benefit of the doubt, which I shouldn't.
What we're going to do, we'll set the conditions for the president, and then he'll eventually get to a position where he'll be talking to President Putin.
Apparently, raising the minimum wage isn't on their to-do list. So much for those better wages Trump promised. I guess the only thing trickling down in this economy will be our tears. Instead, Bessent's got his sights set on what he calls the single most important economic issue of the day. And drumroll, please. It's renewing and extending tax cuts, because nothing says make America great again, like making sure the rich get richer. Am I right?
In the near term. And when I say by the near term, I would like to set a goal on a personal level and professional level. I would say let's set it at 100 days and move our way back.
72% of Americans approved of the Clinton transition before the 1992 inauguration.
And also President Zelensky as well. And I think they're going to come to a solvable solution.
Well, folks, it looks like Trump's approval ratings are doing a nosedive faster than his hair in a windstorm. Who would have thought that breaking promises and acting like a clown during the transition period would make people unhappy? Shocking, I know. But here's the kicker. Low approval ratings aren't just a bruise to the old ego. They're like kryptonite for a president's ability to get stuff done. It's harder to push through policies when everyone thinks you're about as useful as a chocolate teapot. And let's face it, Trump's struggling to keep his own party in line. It's like herding cats if the cats were all wearing MAGA hats. So what's the lesson here, kids? Don't believe everything you hear during a campaign. Fact check those promises like your democracy depends on it. Because, well, it kinda does. Stay informed, stay skeptical, and maybe we can avoid another circus like this in the future. Or at least bring better popcorn to the next one.